Hello friends, in the series on the income tax cases, today we will discuss the case of Joint Commissioner of Income Tax versus SHEETAL Infrastructure Private Limited. This case has been reported in 102 ITR Tribunal, short notes 54. The matter has been decided by Ahmedabad ITAT D bench and the date of the judgment is 8th February 2023. In this case, the assessee was running various housing projects. The assessee was running 5 housing projects, out of which the assessee claimed deduction under section 80Ib only in respect of one housing project. But there were some common expenses like advertisement expenses, administrative expenses and some other expenses also, which were commonly incurred by the assessee on these 5 housing projects. When the assessment was going on, the assessee was raised a query that how the assessee has done the proportion of these common expenses between the various housing projects. The assessee was following the basis of proportioning these common expenses in the ratio of constructed area of the 5 projects. When the assessing officer was doing the assessment, he was not convinced with this proportion, and he applied the proportion of sales realized from the 5 housing projects of the assessee. The assessee contention was that in the previous years also and in the next years also, the department has accepted the basis of proportion of the expenses in the ratio of area of construction. But the assessing officer does not give any heed to this contention of the assessee and also did not consider the principle of consistency also. The assessee moved to the CIT appeal. The CIT appeal gave relief to the assessee and accepted the same principle of allocating the expenses which was being done by the department in the previous years also and in the coming years also. It was the contention of the assessee that if the sale turnover method of doing proportion will be adopted, then it may distort the position of the accounts in a condition when the sale turnover from any project will be negligible or more or less. So, in these type of housing projects, the correct basis of apportionment is the area of construction. But the department went to the appeal to the ITAT, and the ITAT also held that the order which has been passed by the Commissioner of Income Tax is valid. The ITAT held that the method of apportioning the common expenses on the basis of area is correct, and depending upon the facts and the circumstances and depending upon the nature of the business of the assessee, if the turnover method will be adopted, then it will and it can distort the financial results of the assessee. So, the ITAT also upheld the order of the CIT appeal and concluded that in the case of housing projects, the method of apportioning the common expenses based on the area of construction is better than the method which is based on the allocation of the expenses on the basis of sale turnover. There was one more issue in this case. The income tax officer has increased the value of the work in progress, due to which some addition has resulted. So the assessee was contesting this point that if this addition will sustain, then it does not have any impact on the revenue in the long run. The contention of the assessee was that if the closing stock of this year will be increased, then the opening stock of the next year will also be increased, and resultingly the profit of the assessee will remain the same if the effect of the closing stock will be seen in the 2 years. So the addition in the WIP will be revenue neutral. So the ITAT held that in this particular case, addition done on the work in progress stock is also not sustainable. So the assessee got relief on both the issues. At the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is Joint Commissioner of Income Tax versus SHEETAL Infrastructure Private Limited, and this case has been reported in 102 ITR Tribunal, short notes 54, and the date of the judgment is 8th February 2023, and the matter has been decided by the Ahmedabad ITAT D bench. Thank you, friends.